And of course, we'll be seeing how that will pan out. Now, elsewhere, the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023 has now been moved to the Mediation Committee after the National Assembly rejected amendments proposed by the Senate. The bill, which seeks to prohibit public officers from engaging in activities that will cause conflict of interest between the private and public interests, saw the Senate come under sharp criticism for amending key clauses which the National Assembly says waters down the proposed law.
The Conflict of Interest Bill 2023 is headed for consideration at the Mediation Committee.
Members, as you are aware, on Wednesday, 24th July 2024, the House rejected the motion on consideration of the Senate amendments to the Conflict of Interest Bill. Article 113 of the Constitution requires that whenever a bill is referred to a mediation committee, the speakers of the Houses of Parliament shall appoint an equal number of members from both houses to attempt to develop a version of the bill for consideration by the Houses of Parliament.
The 9 members from the National Assembly are George Murugara, Mwengi Mutuse, Naisula Lesuda, Ken Chonga, John Makali, Edward Muriu, Silvana Sosoro, Peter Masara, and Kisau Kakai.
The aforementioned members will await the appointment of senators to the Mediation Committee for the committee to be fully constituted for purposes of commencing the mediation process, to develop a mediated version of the bill in accordance with Article 113 of the Constitution.
Senate amendments to the bill, which prohibits former officers from engaging in activities that would result in conflict of interest after ceasing to be a public officer, were rejected by the National Assembly. Meanwhile, National Assembly members have raised concern over a number of amendments proposed by the Senate to the Sugar Bill 2022, such as zoning of cane farmers to factories.
Farmers should be allowed to sell their cane crops to whoever has arrived with money to buy them. The issues of saying that a factory may have given a particular farmer some incentives, that is like a debt. They can have their own arrangements on how they are going to pay each other. But I rise to vehemently, profusely oppose these amendments of tying cane farmers to a particular factory.
We have decided to take the zoning issue and the definition of the zones to mediation. So, Honourable Chair, we rejected this particular amendment.
While considering the amendments at the Committee of the Whole House on Wednesday, the lawmakers proposed to have some clauses in the amendments, including composition of the board, levy of imported sugar, representation from growers, among others, moved to mediation for further consideration.
The proposal, Honourable Chair, was to add another member, an additional member appointed by the Council of Governors. And Honourable Chair, the presumption here is that the board will already be formed and the Council of Governors will assess the gender equity. And that is not a possibility.
Any delay in coming up with this board, Honourable Speaker, which is long overdue, which can as well be orchestrated by these kinds of proposals as advanced by the Senate, is unwelcomed at this point, and therefore I align myself with the rejection of the Senate amendment, Honourable Chair.
At the same time, the National Assembly has approved with amendments the Pensions Amendment Bill 2022, which seeks to review the Pensions Act to provide a timeline within which pension shall be payable to an officer. Kamchemenza for the Good Morning Kenya.